Female reproductive system, development of female reproductive system. So the genital system consists of gonads and the genital ducts. Okay, and the gonads are testes in male and ovaries in females. That's developed from the genital ridge with incorporation of the primordial germ cells. And genital ducts in male, it includes the efferent ductules of testis, epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicle, and ejaculatory duct. So these are included in male genital duct. And genital ducts in female include the uterine tubes, uterus, and vagina. And there are accessory sex glands. In male include the prostate and bulbourethral glands, and whereas in female include the greater vestibular glands, also known as Bartholin's gland. Okay, these glands sometimes develop cyst, so then it is known as Bartholin's cyst. Okay, and this cyst lies within the deep perineal pouch. So we have to read development of gonads and development of the genital ducts separately. Okay. So here you can see migrating primordial germ cells towards the, so primordial germ cells, they reside in the yolk sac, the yellow portion coming out through the umbilicus. This part is known as yolk sac, and these red dots are representing the primordial germ cells. From here, the genital ridges, the gonads are developing. So primordial germ cell resides in the yolk sac and migrates to the wall of gut during 4th to 6th week. And later, these cells migrate through mesentery of the gut to the dorsal body wall and colonies to form the gonadal ridge and subsequently gonads. In male, testes will develop, and in females, ovaries will develop. Okay, next. So primordial germ cells, they arise from epiblast, primary ectoderm, in the 2nd week. And these primordial germ cells remain within extraembryonic mesoderm of the connecting stalk and wall of the yolk sac. On formation of tail fold, two folds are developed, head fold and tail fold. So during the development of tail fold, primordial germ cells come to lie in the splanchnopleuric mesoderm, and that surrounds the hindgut. Coelomic epithelium covering the mesonephric ridges proliferate to form the genital ridges. And by 5th week, primordial germ cells migrate bilaterally through the dorsal mesentery to the region of genital ridges by amoeboid movement. Okay, this is development of ducts. Okay, two ducts are developing, mesonephric duct and paramesonephric duct. Okay, so here we can see posteriorly there is development of neural tube. Here is the genital ridge formation on the two sides of the aorta, and this is the gut. Okay, so from the yolk sac, which was coming out through this umbilicus, the primordial germ cells are migrating towards the genital ridges to form the gonads. And this is cross section of embryo showing the mesonephric and paramesonephric ducts. From here, duct systems are developing. Next. So genital ridge, so formation, we will discuss first the formation of primitive gonads. Okay. So genital ridge or gonadal ridge. In the 5th week of intrauterine life, the coelomic epithelium, which is lining epithelium of the primitive peritoneal cavity covering the medial surface of mesonephros, proliferate to form a genital ridge. And the genital ridge is an elevation of posterior abdominal wall. Genital ridge consists of inner medulla and outer cortex. And migration of primordial germ cells. In the 4th week, primordial germ cells migrate to the genital ridge along the dorsal mesentery. Formation of primitive sex cords. From the surface of coelomic epithelium, numerous cord-like processes develop, okay, and enter the genital ridge to form the finger-like cords called the primitive sex cords. Okay. Next. Depending on the chromosomal constitution of the individual, in male there will be Y chromosome and female there will be X chromosome. So according to the gonads will be developed. Y chromosome determine testis formation as testis determining factor or TDF gene is located on the short arm of chromosome Y, and TDF is controlled by SRY gene. SRY gene is sex determining region of Y chromosome. TDF induces differentiation of the Sertoli cells. And in the absence of TDF, cells of sex cords differentiate into follicular cells of ovary, and both the X chromosomes should be genetically active to form the primary ovarian follicles. After the formation of definitive female gonad, only one X chromosome remains active, whereas the other X chromosome becomes inactive to form the bar body. Okay, so absence of TDF will differentiate into follicular cells of ovary, development of ovary. Genital ridge has one outer cortex and inner medulla. In female fetus, the cortex differentiates to form the ovary and medulla regresses. Okay? And opposite occurs in male fetus. In male fetus, medulla differentiates to form the testis and cortex regresses. Okay? And TDF also helps in differentiation of the Leydig cells in male fetus. Leydig cells start secreting testosterone and dihydrotestosterone. Testosterone stimulates growth of the mesonephric ducts and that forms the male genital duct system. Okay? And the absence of androgen, that is testosterone, dihydrotestosterone, allows differentiation of the Mullerian ducts and into Mullerian and differentiation of Mullerian duct into uterine tubes and uterus under the influence of maternal and placental estrogen. And this estrogen also differentiates genital swellings into female external genitalia. Okay. Next. So this is sex differentiation in male. So this is the genetic pattern, chromosomal constitution 46XY. In male, Y chromosome is present within Y chromosome, SRY gene. It helps in development of testis determining factor. There will be differentiation of Sertoli cells, differentiation of medulla of the genital ridges into testis. Testis will secrete these three substances, anti-Mullerian substance, testosterone and dihydrotestosterone hormones. And these are the functions. Anti-Mullerian substance helps in inhibition of the Mullerian ducts. Mullerian ducts was developing in female. So here there will be inhibition of Mullerian ducts and no formation of uterus and uterine tubes. Testosterone helps in differentiation of Wolffian duct and formation of male genital tubes. And dihydrotestosterone differentiation of male external genitalia. Okay, so these are the functions of these three hormones. Next, in female, chromosomal constitution will be 46XX. Okay, absence of Y chromosome, so no testis determining factor, and there is two active X chromosome. So formation of ovarian follicles will be there and differentiation of cortex of genital ridge into ovary. Okay. As there is no anti-Mullerian substance was secreted by testis. So anti-Mullerian substance is absent here. No inhibition of Mullerian ducts and there will be differentiation of Mullerian duct into fallopian tubes and uterus. And this differentiation is helped by maternal placental estrogen and differentiation, and this estrogen also helps in differentiation of female external genitalia. So that's how reproductive system in female develops. Okay, ovary and different sex genital ducts developing into uterus and fallopian tubes. Next we discuss the development of ovary in details. So ovary, the components of ovary are derived as follows. Oocyte develops from primordial germ cells that migrate from the yolk sac. Primordial germ cells you have seen in the previous picture migrating from the yolk sac. Follicular cells are derived from cortical sex cords and that are raised from the coelomic epithelium. Germinal epithelium, that is cuboidal epithelium. Germinal epithelium is cuboidal epithelium covering the ovaries, is derived from this coelomic epithelium that covers the genital ridge. And medulla of the ovary is derived from degenerated medullary sex cords. Okay. Next. So, Woodside's embryological source are primordial germ cells. Follicular cells comes from cortical sex cords. Germinal epithelium is coming from coelomic epithelium, and medulla develops from degenerated medullary sex cords. Okay. In female, medulla is degenerating. In male, it was developing into testis, but in female, medulla of the sex cord is degenerating to form the medulla of the ovary. Next, we go to descent of ovary. Ovaries develop in the posterior abdominal wall and descend to the true pelvis. Okay, and factors affecting the descent of ovary as the gubernaculum ovary, developing uterus and broad ligament. Gubernaculum forms two derivatives, ligament of ovary and round ligament of the uterus. We have seen in yesterday class these two ligaments. Next, see here, this is the primitive sex cord. Primitive germ cells are there, and here is genital ridge. They are lying within the genital ridge, and cortex develops in case of female to form the ovary, and in male, medulla will develop to form the testis. And this is the migration of the germ cells from the yolk sac. And here the duct system is developing. Urogenital system, actually this duct system is developing together. Okay, so and ducts are developing from this mesonephric tubules and mesonephric duct and paramesonephric duct. Okay, cords of cells are present here, medulla within the medullary cords, and mesonephric tubules are also developing here. See, here is the coelomic epithelium, degenerating mesonephric tubules, and degenerating medullary cords, retiovary, and cortical cords are present. See, here is the medulla, and this part is the cortex. Cortex, within the cortex, primordial follicles will develop from the primitive germ cells. And here from the degenerating mesonephric duct and tubule develops the Gartner's duct, tubules of apoophoron and paraophoron. So here we are seeing the development of female gonads or ovary, whose side develop from primordial germ cells of the cortical cords. Here cortical cords having primordial germ cells, from their primordial follicles will develop, and follicular cells are derived from cortical sex cords, and germinal epithelium is derived from coelomic epithelium. See, this is coelomic epithelium. It will help in development of germinal epithelium that covers the genital ridge, and medulla of the ovary is derived from the degenerated medullary sex cord. Degenerated medullary sex cord will develop into medulla, and cortical cords will develop into cortex. Okay. Next. So, what are the anomalies of the ovary? There may be absent of ovary on one or both sides, or there may be duplicated ovary one or both sides, or ovary may be present in inguinal canal or labium majus. Okay, there is more descent. Generally, ovary descent towards the pelvis. Okay, but in case of male, you have seen testis descends through the inguinal canal into the scrotum. So, for in case of ovary, that may also occur, and it may descend up to the region of inguinal region or just deep to the labia majora. Okay. Next, we go to ovarian teratoma. It is a teratoma. It is a teratoma that may consist of derivatives of all germ layers, such as adrenal and thyroid tissue, bone, cartilage, hair, and so on. Okay. all the germ layers means ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm, all the germ layers are present in this tumor, teratoma. Okay. Next. Next, we go to the genital ducts. In embryonic life, two pairs of ducts form the primitive genital ducts. They are the mesonephric duct, also known as Wolffian duct, and paramesonephric duct, also known as Mullerian duct. Okay. From the Mullerian duct, female genital ducts are developing, and from the Wolffian duct, male genital systems are developing. Mesonephric ducts form genital duct system in males. Paramesonephric ducts form genital duct system in females. Okay. So this you don't confuse. This is very important for your MCQ and Viva. Which duct system develops in males and females? Okay. Next. Next is the derivatives. Mesonephric tubules and ducts in male. They persistent mesonephric tubules form the efferent ductules of the testis, and remaining some mesonephric tubules form the superior aberrant ductules, inferior aberrant ductules, tubules of paradidymis. And mesonephric duct forms a canal of epididymis, vas deferens or ductus deferens, ejaculatory duct, and ductus deferens give rise to seminal vesicles. Okay. Next. Next, mesonephric tubules form vestigial remnants such as tubules of apoeuperon, tubules of paraeuperon in female. Mesonephric duct in female form the duct of apoeuperon known as Gartner's duct that join with the tubules of apoeuperon. And all these structures, tubules of apoeuperon, paraeuperon and Gartner's ducts, they are present in the broad ligament of the uterus, which is a fold of peritoneum attached to the uterus. Okay. So all these remnant of mesonephric tubules are lying within the broad ligament, apoeuperon, paraeuperon. Next. These paramesonephric ducts are developing into uterus and fallopian tube. This part is very, very important. This will come in your theory. Okay. Development of uterus and fallopian tube. There are different anomalies like this. Okay. And development of ovary can also come as a short note. Or some important MCQs can come from the development of ovary. So in the 6th week, paramesonephric ducts develop from the coelomic epithelial invagination into mesonephric ridge. Cranial ends of paramesonephric ducts open into the peritoneal or coelomic cavity. In the 8th week, caudal ends grow caudally and cross the mesonephric ducts ventrally to enter the urorectal septum. By the 3rd month, caudal ends of both right and left paramesonephric duct meet and fuse to form the uterovaginal canal. And fused uterovaginal canal bulge into the dorsal wall of the urogenital sinus to form the bulging called Mullerian tubercle. Next. The cephalic unfused part of each of the paramesonephric duct forms the uterine tube, that is fallopian tubes. And cranial opening of paramesonephric duct in coelomic cavity forms the pelvic ostium of the fallopian tube, the fimbrial end, which lies near the ovary. Okay. And degeneration of the mesonephros develop the fimbri around the pelvic ostium of the fallopian tube, and fuse caudal part of paramesonephric duct form the uterovaginal canal. Cranial part of uterovaginal canal forms the uterus, and blind caudal end of the uterovaginal canal projects into the dorsal wall of the urogenital sinus at an elevation called Mullerian tubercle. And part of the urogenital canal adjacent to the Mullerian tubercle proliferates and form the solid bar of tissue known as vaginal cord. An endodermal urogenital sinus develops two cellular cord-like outgrowths as sinovaginal bulbs. Sinovaginal bulbs later fuse and form a plate-like structure called vaginal plate to push the vaginal cord, that is part of uterovaginal canal, away from the urogenital sinus. And by the 5th month, this vaginal cord and vaginal plate get canalized to form the vaginal canal. So this is development of vagina. Expansion of the sinovaginal valves around the cervix of uterus form the fornix of vagina, and central part of Mullerian eminence degenerates to form orifice of the hymen, and remnant of peripheral part of Mullerian eminence form the hymenal membrane. Next, so paramesonephric duct in male. So we have discussed development of paramesonephric duct in female. In males, they will develop into some remnants. So due to presence of anti-Mullerian hormone, paramesonephric duct or Mullerian ducts in male degenerates, and remnants of paramesonephric duct in male forms the appendix of testis and prostatic utricle. These are only remnant left of the Mullerian ducts in males. Next. Here, development of testes and different duct system in male is showing, and here development of this development of duct system in females. Here is development of two fallopian tubes, cranial unfused part of the paramesonephric duct, and here is the remnant of this mesonephric duct, epoephuron, paraephuron, and Gartner's duct. All are lying within the broad ligament, and uterine cavity is developed from the caudal fused part of the paramesonephric duct, and lower part is forming the vagina. Vaginal ridge, vaginal plates are developing. Here you can see this. This is paramesonephric duct. They are developing into the, and here is the urogenital system. So urogenital system is developing here. Here is the GI gastrointestinal system. Okay, and here is formation. This is the uterovaginal canal. The two paramesonephric ducts. Cranial part, unfused part is forming fallopian tube, and caudal fused part is forming the uterus. And here it is forming the Mullerian eminence, where it joins with the sinovaginal valve. And this ultimately canalizes later to form the vagina after development of the vaginal cords and vaginal plate like this. Okay, so here complete development have occurs two fallopian tubes, uterus, cervix, and here is the vagina, and here is the hymen. Okay, within the vaginal cavity. Next, so uterus develops from these following sources: epithelium from the uterovaginal canal, which is fused part of paramesonephric ducts; myometrium from the mesoderm surrounding the paramesonephric ducts; and fallopian tubes from unfused part of paramesonephric ducts. At birth, cervix is twice in length than the body of the uterus, and at puberty, body of uterus elongates and becomes longer than the cervix. Okay. Next, here is the schematic diagram of the development. You practice a schematic diagram like this. Okay, so here these are the two paramesonephric ducts, and here is the mesonephric ducts. A urogenital sinus developing into urinary bladder, and here you can see caudal part of the paramesonephric duct are fused to form the uterus. Cranial unfused part will form this fallopian tube, and here sinovaginal valve is present, and from here the vaginal cords and vaginal plate is developing, and which later canalizes to form the vagina. And here near the Mullerian eminence, here hymen is forming here. Okay, and in the upper part is gradually developing into the unfused part into fallopian tube and fused part into the uterus. Okay, so this is how the gut duct system of the female genital system occurs, and they develop into fallopian tube, uterus, and vagina. Okay, next, what will be the anomalies of uterus? Bicornuate uterus, unicornuate uterus, septate uterus, absence of uterus, double uterus with double vagina. All these can occur according to the fusion between the two paramesonephric ducts. Next, see here some of them have been shown. This is bicornuate uterus. two cornuates are present. Okay, this is unicornuate. Only one cornu is developed, another regresses. It is septate uterus. Okay, fundus is present. Here fundus is absent in bicornuate uterus. Okay, here fundus is present, but within the uterine cavity you see a septum. So this is septate uterus. That is the difference between bicornuate and septate. Okay, and uterus diadelphys. Here two uterine cavity, two vagina, two cervical canal is present, but vagina is same. Okay, so this is known as uterus diadelphys. Two mesonephric duct is not fusing properly in the caudal part. Okay, paramesonephric ducts. So here development of the vagina, various parts of vagina develops as follows. Above the hymen, mucous membrane derives from sinovaginal bulbs, endoderm, and muscles and connective tissue derived from mesoderm surrounding the paramesonephric duct. Below the hymen, it derives from urogenital sinus, that is endoderm. An external vaginal orifice derives from genital folds after rupture of the urogenital membrane. And hymenal membrane derives from the Mullerian eminence. Okay, next. In initial stages, next we are going to development of external genitalia in females. In initial stages, the development of male and female external genitalia is same. In fourth week, the mesoderm thickens on the side of the cloacal membrane, and this thickening produces surface elevation called the cloacal folds. Urorectal septum divides the cloacal membrane into ventral urogenital membrane and dorsal anal membrane. Along with the division of cloacal membrane, cloacal fold is also divided into cranial large urethral folds and caudal anal folds. Later to the urethral folds, another swelling called genital swellings appear. Next. See, here is genital tubercle on the two sides, genital swellings. These are the cloacal folds, and here is the cloacal membrane at 6th week. Okay, in beginning of 7th week, these are the genital swellings. Cloacal folds will develop into urethral folds. Okay, here is the perineum between the urogenital opening and anal opening, and anal membrane ruptures to develop into anus. Anal folds are lying around the anal opening. Here is the perineum, and here is urogenital membrane, which ruptures to form the openings of vagina and urethra. And these genital swellings, they will develop into labioscrotal swelling. Labia majora and minora will develop in female, and in male there will be development of the scrotum. And this genital tubercle, they helps in development of penis in male, and in case of female it will develop into clitoris. Okay, next. So clitoris develops from the genital tubercle phallus. Okay, and labia minora develops from the primitive urethral folds. Labia majora develops from genital swellings. Labia majora fuse posteriorly to form the posterior labial commissure, and anteriorly to form the mons pubis and anterior labial commissure. And vestibule of vagina develops by rupture of the urogenital membrane. Next. So here it is developing genital tubercle, genital swelling, urethral fold, perineum, anal opening, 5th month. And in the newborn, here you can see from the genital tubercle develops the clitoris, glans clitoris from the genital tubercle. Labia majora develops from the genital swelling, labia minora developing from the urethral folds, and here is the urethral orifice, vaginal orifice, perineum, and here is development of the hymen. Okay, during the development of the rupture of this urogenital membrane. Next. Okay, that's all. So we have discussed development of female reproductive system. Development of ovary can come as a short note. We prepare a short note, and development of the paramesonephric duct and the duct system, and different anomalies of the uterus all comes as long question, theory long question. Okay, from embryology. Anomalies of uterus can also come in your explain why or short note separately. Okay, and you very carefully read the development of mesonephric and paramesonephric ducts.